to Gretzky. Gretzky inside. Goal!
Wayne Gretzky, the arguably best hockey player of all time, famously said that his secret to success is to skate where the puck is going, not where it's been. And that's exactly what 17-year-old Mirra Andreeva is doing in tennis. She's already cracked the WTA Top 20, reached a Grand Slam semifinal, and caught the eye of Maria Sharapova, who called her a future star of the sport. But can Andreeva live up to Sharapova's massive hype? And how does she stack up against today's teenage sensations? Let's break it down and see if she's the next big thing.
I think she has a really bright future ahead of her.
Sharapova revealed that she's been keeping an eye on 17-year-old phenom Mirra Andreeva and even predicted her breakout season. Now, flashback to 2023. Andreeva was a junior sensation, reaching the Australian Open Girls Final.
Mirra Andreeva.
Fast forward 3 months, she was taking down top 20 players at the Madrid Open and cruising into the top 100. Her 2024 season? Insane.
One of the greatest seasons I've had.
Semifinals at Roland Garros. Her first WTA title and a silver medal at the Paris Olympics. Add in a 70 and 25 record and a career-high ranking of number 15. Sharapova replied to a reporter after asking about Andreeva, "This is tough. I want to say Mirra Andreeva will have a phenomenal year. I followed a little bit of her matches in 23, and I think she has a strong attitude and has the game to back it up. Genuinely, just like her approach and her sensibility in the game, and I think she has a very bright future ahead of her." Andreeva's teenage stats rival legends like Sharapova and Hingis. She's the youngest to reach Slam fourth rounds on 3 surfaces since Kornikova and had 4 top 10 wins in 2024, including a huge upset over Aryna Sabalenka. Oh, and she matched Sharapova's age record for a China Open quarterfinal at only 17 years old and 156 days of age. Wild.
Mirra Andreeva will be a Grand Slam champion at some point, still super young.
Her Grand Slam breakthrough? Not if, but when. AO, Roland Garros, Wimbledon? The clock is ticking for this young star to deliver her Sharapova moment. Place your bets. When do you think Mirra will lift her first Slam trophy? All right, let's leave the tennis legends behind and talk about how Mirra Andreeva stacks up against her generation. Spoiler alert, it's not even close. At just 17, Andreeva wrapped up 2024 ranked number 16 in the world, a staggering 100 spots ahead of her closest teenage rival, Maya Joint, who's older. But wait, it gets crazier. Among players under 18, it's a total wipeout. Only 3 others have cracked the WTA Top 200, and the closest, Elena Korneva, sits way down at number 177. Andreeva's meteoric rise to the top 20? It's the first time anyone this young has pulled it off in nearly 2 decades. And the last to do it? Nicole Vidashova, back in 2006. But here's where it gets legendary. Teenage dominance like this usually leads to iconic careers. Think Sharapova, who ended 2004 ranked number 4, or Serena Williams, who hit number 5 in 2000. And what about Andreeva's pace? Well, she's already got more than 50 career tour-level wins. Since 2006, only Coco Gauff managed more before turning 18. And here's the kicker. Andreeva doesn't even turn 18 until April. That gives her plenty of time to obliterate Gauff's record of 64 wins. Now, let's check what exactly makes Mirra Andreeva such a force on the WTA Tour, and why she might soon break into the top 10.
Pretty impressive stuff, and all without having the biggest shot on the court yet. You feel like she's still growing in to her body.
Forget her age for a second. Mirra is already one of the best returners in tennis. In 2024, she won 47.3% of return points, ranking among the top dozen WTA players. Sure, her opponents weren't as tough as Swiatek's or Gauff's, but when you narrow it down to matches against top 20 players, Mirra still holds her ground. Now here's the jaw-dropper. Andreeva dominated on the first serve returns better than anyone else last year. She crushed names like Swiatek and Gauff with a 42.6% win rate. Let that sink in. She's winning more first serve return points than Barbara Krejcikova wins on all returns. Even against tougher competition, she stays elite, finishing just behind Swiatek and Goff. The takeaway? Mirra isn't just great for her age, she's already world class. But what's Andreeva's secret weapon? It can only be her precious patience. Let's explain. At just 17, her serve is good, but it's her killer baseline game that's pushed her into the top 20. Returns are her bread and butter, and they've made her one of the toughest young players on tour. Now, let's compare her to fellow Russian Daria Kostakina. Both averaged the longest rallies in the top 40, 4.9 strokes. Kostakina's forehand racks up more points, but Andreeva's backhand? Absolute fire. And when it comes to rally aggression scores, Mirra edges closer to the norm, showing she's more willing to take charge. Now here's where it gets wild. Rally length categories. Based on match charting project data, Mirra wins more points than Kostakina across all lengths. But let's normalize it. What if both players won exactly half their points? Andreeva dominates the crucial 4 to 6 stroke rallies, while Kostakina excels in longer ones. Now why does this matter? These medium-short rallies are where big hitters like Aryna Sabalenka shine. There are battles where serves still influence the outcome, but Andreeva neutralizes the damage. She withstands attacks, turns defense into offense, and keeps big hitters from running away with the point. Her flatter strokes and bigger weapons give her the edge. Sure, Sabalenka and company might grab a win here and there, but blowing Andreeva off the court? Good luck with that. Mirra's ability to hold her own in these rallies while still improving at just 17 is what sets her apart. She's not just surviving against top-tier opponents, she's forcing them to play on her terms. Alright, by now it's clear as day that Andreeva is already a phenom, so let's talk about her growth potential. At 17, calling her a younger, more aggressive Daria Kostakina is a huge compliment. But here's the thing, Andreeva isn't just stopping there. She's on track to be so much more. Let's drop some counterintuitive tennis wisdom. Return stats rarely improve. Why? Because returns rely on speed, anticipation, and quickness, skills that naturally decline with age. Players peak in their return game early, and even tactical smarts can only balance out that decline. But here's the twist. Serving is different. A 17-year-old or even a 23-year-old has tons of room to get stronger. With better coaching and targeted practice, think Djokovic's late career upgrades, serving stats can skyrocket. Want proof? Maria Sakkari went from a weak server to crushing it in the 93rd percentile. Simona Halep turned her serve from one of the worst to one of the best. So what does that mean for Mirra? Her return game is already elite. She's among the best returners on tour. But her serve? That's where the magic lies. Right now, her serve point win rate is 58.4%, just shy of the top 50 average. Factor in her clay-heavy schedule, and it's already looking solid. And on hard courts, she's above average. Now picture this. If Mirra boosts her serve to something like Victoria Azarenka's trajectory, a killer returner who leveled up her serve, she could dominate. Vika's serve improvement from 59% to 61% turned her into a Grand Slam champ and world number 1. For Mirra, lifting her rate to 61% would make her the 9th best server on tour. Combine that with her return game and she's a top 3 player. Of course, it's not guaranteed. Injuries or setbacks happen. But the roadmap is crystal clear. A small, achievable leap in her serve is all that stands between Andreeva and total domination. How long until she makes that jump?